Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Onney, the CEO, and I want to thank you for tuning in for another week, another fire segment of Outside the Box with Onney. This series is all about conversations with the queen, and I have different queens from all walks of life sitting on the couch, letting me get all in their business. And the queen that I have tonight is more than phenomenal. And I know that she will inspire you the same way she has inspired me. So I need you guys to buckle up your seatbelts because you're now plugged in, tuned in, tapped in to Outside the Box. Now, the lady that I have tonight, she's an autism mom that definitely rocks. She has inspired me in so many different ways in my business, in my personal life, and just watching her journey. So without further ado, I want you guys to give it up for Nicole.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. So I want to thank you for coming in on Outside the Box. I know who you are, and I know that this particular show, is not about titles, it's not about accolades or celebrity, even though you are all of those things. I want you to tell our listeners who you are, some of the talents that you have, some of the gradations that you have. Just share with us who you are.
Well, of course, I'm just a woman and a mother like everyone else that is a mother, you know, and a woman. But I have done a lot of things, but most of the things I've done has been mostly in theater, music. I love to write music. I love to write songs. I am a certified sign language interpreter. I also just finished a certification, but I'm not going to say it yet because I need to wait.
No, go say it.
I can't because then people are going to be asking me, when is this? No, we can't say it yet because I don't know yet. So I don't want to, you know how I am. I know I'm so bad, right? So that, and of course, I work with a lot of autism moms. I am a consultant for moms as well too. Autism moms or moms that are raising children with special needs, not specifically catered to just autism, but
Special needs
in general. And of course, just a mom. You know, I've done a lot of things. I mean, so I'm good.
Now, where are you originally from? I know, but for our listeners and watchers, where are you originally from?
Mo City, baby.
Mo City.
Gate.
Come on.
What y'all know about that BG?
Man, Mo
Fuller Ridge
City.
High School class of 95.
Mo
What you
City,
know?
where the girls be pretty.
That's right. That's
had to let my hood come out.
For life. No.
Yes, so it's funny how we went to school together, but we didn't even know each other in school.
You know, it's so crazy because I know your brother, and we're only one street apart. Never saw you. As much as I used to run around the block and
Mama used to keep me on
exercise, I could tell because I used to run past the house all the time. And then when your brother told me, yeah, I stay right there, I didn't even know he had another brother or you. I didn't know any of that, you know. And so it's just crazy how we met, of course, right? And we just got to talk, and I was like, wait. And then when I looked at you, I was like, you know what, they do kind of look alike.
Girl,
never put it together that was her brother. I said, what am I doing right now?
Listen, but the universe saw fit to put us together.
Yes, it did.
So I want to get into this show, but I also want to give people just a little bit of background about us, because you have shared some real moments with me.
Right.
And so when I really first connected with you was on a poetry scene. And I want to say that was like back in what, 2001?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Like 2001.
Was it called Pisano's or was it called something else before that?
It was Pisano's, and then it was a shadow bar.
There you go, yeah.
And then, you know, of course, we call it the Poetry Lounge.
Yeah, the Poetry Lounge now.
And I've always been who I am, my bubbly little personality. And you were the first person to pull me by my coattail and set me straight. And you know,
didn't I?
Listen, Onney
Come
will
here,
walk
girl.
up to everybody and be like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, give me a hug.
Yeah.
Oh," and she's
And
like,
I was
"Girl,
like,
these folks don't like
girl,
you."
these people don't do all of that. You ain't got to do all of that. Just do your portrait and get off stage. Go on home, girl. Don't do all of that. Don't do it.
But that was the realest shit.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
And
right.
you've always kept it so real with me. And over the course of our relationship, you've written stage plays, Submission, Adultery, Disease, which I had the opportunity to play.
Was that your first one with me?
I think that was
that
the
you
first
did
one.
the
And I
first
also
one?
did Bougie Broken Single.
Yeah.
So
That was
we
at the
did
Hobby
that.
Center, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I want to ask you, like, because you have so many different things going on, and like I said, you're a mom, you're an autism mom, and so many people feel like because they have children with special needs that they can't think outside that box because they're so limited. So I want to ask you, like, what does your support system look like, first of all?
Well, that's actually the key. So we have to remember that there are moms who do not have a support system. So I don't know what it feels like, but I do listen to their stories. But my parents are very, very supportive. So once her diagnosis came about, both my parents just came to the realization that, we just need to retire and help, because they know that children with special needs could be considered abused sometimes in different settings, and they can't tell you what's happening. So they know that, so that's why they retired to help me. And so at least, a few days a week, they'll let her spend the night so I can get rest, because there was a time I didn't get any sleep at all. I probably stayed up all night for about 4 or 5 years because she just never slept. So then I started being delusional, delirious, headaches all the time, and so falling asleep on the side of the road just to get a nap in between going to this job to the next job. So from there, that's where my parents was like, we got to help her. So that's pretty much what it was. That support system, of course, Miss Bobby, which is like her second mom, pretty much is the other person that helps me as well.
Now, just to dig a little bit deeper in that, I want to ask you, how old was your daughter when she was diagnosed with autism? Because a lot of parents don't know that their children have autism, or they don't have the resources to even go get their children checked or screened, because there's different levels of autism or different spectrums of autism. And some are verbal and some are nonverbal. And I think that so many children get punished for being bad kids when they're not actually bad kids. They're just autistic, but their parents are not educated enough to go and try to understand what their child is going through. So my question to you, when becoming a new mom, when did you start noticing signs, and how old was your daughter when you decided, when you discovered that she had autism?
Well, it's actually funny because I've worked with kids in life skill classes, and everyone saw it, but I didn't. Everybody was like, something's different about her, or, But right before I go into that, I will say this. A lot of times when you find families or mothers that are not diagnosing their kids, you're also bombarded with family members who, there's nothing wrong with him. Why are you going to let people tell you that your child could be different? Don't let them label your child. That's also what you deal with. So you have family, but then you go to the parties and then you get your kid is jumping around and it's like so you're getting that on top of them saying, don't do that. She or he'll grow out of that. Don't let those doctors do that. You know what I'm saying? They always want to just label black kids. And, you have to hear all of that from your own family and friends. So once you realize something is wrong, I'm not going to say wrong with your child. We're going to say something is different about your child. You have to just say to yourself that when something is not right, no one's going to call none of those people. The school is not going to call none of those people. The daycare is not going to call any of those people. The doctor, when the child gets sick, they're going to call me. They're not going to call anyone else that has all these opinions, So from that, I realized, okay. And once she was diagnosed, which was around 3, she also had lead poisoning too. So I can't say that she was autistic at birth because of her having the lead poisoning. I can't confirm that because, again, I don't know. She could have had a mild case of autism. I don't know. But she did have lead poisoning, which that really changed a lot of things. But her behavior is what gave it off, because she would get upset and it could go 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I've even seen it go as close as to 2 or 3 hours, and she's just hollering and screaming because she's upset about something. It could be the sound that she's hearing. It could be a light. I never knew what it was. So I had to get to a point to start paying more attention to her. So give you an example. There's
those subtle cues.
Oh, all of it. So there's a sound on Jeopardy, and I still don't know what the sound is. But that sound triggers her, and I don't know what sound it is. So I could say I like watching Jeopardy, or I could just have scratch Jeopardy and watch something. That's what I had to do because it was irritating her. You know what I mean by that? So all of those things gave me signs that, let me go get her checked. And then that's when they diagnosed her at 3.
And so how did you process that?
I mean, it was hard at first because, when you're pregnant, no one says, I'm going to be giving birth to a child that has autism, or I'm going to give birth to a child. Right. That's not what you do when you're pregnant. You go, I'm going to have this baby. So I have all these plans. I'm going to do this and that. And then now you have all these plans, and none of these plans are going to go through because your child is dictating it all. I'm not dictating anything, And so it was definitely hard. It did send me into a heavy depression. A lot of people didn't know that. So that's where the Autism Moms Are Beautiful came from. Because I kept saying to myself, I need to do something to get myself out of this. But it was very hard. And I remember talking to, Madeline, Green Sea Vegan. And I literally told her, shout out to Green Sea Vegan. Oh, I know, right? And I remember her calling me. And she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just drinking. She was like, well, yeah, but you was drinking last night. I was like, I know. Then she was like, but you was drinking the night before, so that's what you're doing now? I was like, well, yeah, I just, I got to clear my mind. She was like, that is not going to clear your mind. That's when it hit me. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should just stop doing that, right? So that went on about 3 or 4 days, you know what I'm saying? And I just was knocked out to the point that I'll be delirious because she wakes up at 1 o'clock. So I'm knocked out at 10, but I'm up at 1. Right. And then she's up screaming because of something that she's not able to tell me, Right. But it was because of her that I had to go, oh, let me not do that, because that would be bad. So that's when I went to, let me find an outlet. Let me figure out something else to do.
Not only that you found it, I thought it was so selfless of you because you started Autism Moms Are Beautiful. Of course, you had a magazine. You had some awesome celebrities that people don't even know had children with autism share their stories, come and cover your magazine. You have so many, hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners and people that are tapped in to who you are and what you're doing. So the fact that you found not only an outlet that could help heal you, but that can inspire other moms that are facing the same plights. And just me being able to be a part, even though I don't have a child that's autistic, just being able, I'm thankful that you would include me in a lot of
I was like, you gotta come to the Deborah Duncan show with me.
Yeah,
remember
girl,
I said we came?
Come on, girl.
I said, come on with me to the Deborah
Duncan show. Maybe Deborah can come sit on the Onney show next time. Outside the box.
Yes.
But we have done a lot of amazing things together to help the community and bring autism awareness, and I thank you for that. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of that journey with you. It's just beautiful to see you flourish and to see the lives that you touch, from your private events to your public events, and just meeting some of the moms. They're so warm, and I can tell in their faces that they're grateful and they just need that little time for themselves to just let their hair down. So thank you for being a martyr for that, and just living by example and living outside the box with that. So we all know that there's so many different unique challenges we come in with raising children with special needs. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what's your current status? Are you married? Are you single? Are you dating? Are you taking a break?
No, I realized that dating was a more negative thing for me because you know when you have a child on the spectrum, and again, this is not everyone's story. You have some men that are just wonderful and have stepped up, but for me, I had to decide if I decide to date, I felt like I was going to neglect her, and that's what kind of wound up happening. Is she would always get neglected because and there wasn't that many, it wasn't that many. You know me, it wasn't that many. But the few that it was, I realized more time was wasted on them not appreciating me for who I was, or not understanding that our lives are different, and my daughter is different, but she's still lovely, she's still unique and beautiful. So once I realized that redirect my focus and understand there were times that I said, okay, let me try. But now where I am now, I'm definitely very content with being single. I'm not interested in dating at all because she's still 16 and I still have other things I have to do with her. She has frequent seizures now, so we have to go we had an MRI actually today, So a lot of things that I need to do for her that I don't even want to waste my time with a person that's going to waste my time. Does it make sense? So if I feel that you're wasting my time, I'm not going to let you waste my time because it's just not going to happen.
Well, what I want to say is your kingdom spouse will be there when you're ready. Okay. And he's definitely coming for you. Everything happens in God's time. Because sometimes, everybody wants love. Right. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we don't even want all that. We just need to take care of a little song. And I ain't judging if you got it. And I ain't judging if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Now, speaking of that, because like you said, dating is kind of like something that being in a relationship. I'm not gonna say dating.
I would say being in a relationship. Yeah.
Because you could date.
Because I still hang with a few guys. I mean, we have fun.
Collect some data. That's what dating is.
But it stays there. It's not going any further.
As far as relationship is something that you kind of like took off the table for yourself right now because your focus is on other things. Do you look at that as a form of isolation?
It probably could come across that way, but it's so funny because the last person that I dated, how you date someone and you're like, this person just doesn't treat me right or whatever, you call it quits, then you try to rekindle or you try to be friends. I was actually happy that I did that because I actually watched him with another girl. I actually watched him relationship with another girl, and I watched her just dog him, and he was so trying to make it work. And this girl dogged him. When I say dogged him, it was like, wow, I didn't do any of those things to you. And to see how you are moving mountains to be with someone that treats you like that, that's when it was an opening eye for me to know that, wow, you have people who really, really engage in happily dysfunctional relationships and don't even know that that's what it is. And so once it was over,
some people aren't happy unless the relationship is dysfunctional.
Right, unless it's right. And so
that's a whole other topic.
Right. And so instead of me getting back with him, I said, let me just be friends, because a lot of times we jump into things because we want something. I was really level-headed this time. I said, no, let's just be friends. And when I realized when I was friends with him, I watched him get dogged. I watched him say this relationship is not working. But to literally watch him for 3 months being dogged out and really trying to make it work was crazy. But after that happened, it was so funny because I was like, okay, we're going to be cool. We'll see. And then I caught him in a lie. But instead of me making it a big deal because we weren't together, I just wanted to see if we could be honest with each other as friends. And when I realized that lie went on for days, like it was nothing. So that's when it hit me that this is not going to work, because if you can't be honest with me as a friend, then I already know you're not going to be honest with me. Right.
Off the table.
So once I don't know, I guess this will be really, I don't know if this is a good thing to say or not, but a lot of us never get to see that. A lot of us only get to see them out with someone else. You never get to be friends with them and literally help them try to mend or work a relationship. And you can actually watch them and know that's the same person that I was with. And I think it's also beautiful because it helps you to understand that people can be so fake with you. People can make you believe something and you fall for it, right?
We'll have a whole mask.
Right. And so
whole different double life, different personality.
But at the end of the day, I also felt like I don't blame him for that. I actually thank him for that, because it helped me to see, wow, how many other women have gone through this and they're wondering. I didn't have to wonder. I actually saw it. You know what I mean? So I felt like it was a beautiful thing because it made me think different about relationships at that point. And it's okay to be single. It's okay to be content with being with you and loving on you and doing you. You know what I mean? It's okay, and that's when I realized, it was okay,
Now, circling back to isolation, let's step outside the whole relationship box, because you are a very dynamic woman. Business, playwright, author, music producer, songwriter, spoken word artist. You have so many different hats that you wear, but there are times that you just can't participate in everything. So
my vanishing moments. That's what
you're talking about, girl, right? You'll disappear.
I am a disappearer, because what I've learned is that isolation to some is a negative thing. But I found that isolation helps me
it.
to be more creative. It actually helps me to help me to balance things out. So I am okay with being by myself, not because of not wanting a companion. It's more so of the times I have my parents to help me with her. That is when I go, sometimes I sit on the patio, I'll go roller skate. Like, I'll be roller skating, be falling, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know,
big kid
all of
too.
that. I'd be roller skate, girl. It was one time, you know, I went to the park and it was so lit up. It was like 10:30 at night and I turned my phone off. But that's isolation to people. But to me, it was more like, wow, I've never been able to really enjoy the breeze because then I ain't gonna sit out there with me to enjoy the breeze. You know, so a lot of times I took it as if, am I really isolating myself or am I protecting and recharging myself? Because I feel like, you know, I've learned over the years that I've never really had friends. You think you have friends, but a lot of your friendships are based on condition. And so growing up, a lot of my friendships were based on condition. So when I was able to branch away and start to meet certain people, I will go, oh, no, she's an associate. Oh, she's someone that I know. No, she's my friend. I had to really understand it, but isolation is what helped me to do that based off of how they acted towards me and how I responded versus how I acted towards them and they responded. So I didn't take it as isolation was bad. I had to, instead of making everything negative, I had to learn how to turn it into a positive because Zanaya is forever. It's a lifelong thing. So once I learned how to turn things around, I don't, it doesn't upset me when someone says, oh, you just don't want to be around. I don't. But thank you for saying that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Speaking of that, not want to be around, let's talk about boundaries because sometimes, you know, like I'm not gonna say I've dealt with the being a mom of a child with special needs, but now I am a mom of a child with special needs because he's been diagnosed with 2 different conditions and both can take his life.
Right.
And sometimes people will ask questions out of concern, but sometimes it kind of leans over to just being nosy because you're not asking for solutions.
Right. And offensive,
and they can say things that's offensive. Right. So how do you handle your boundaries when it comes to your daughter, like your friends, the guy, if you're dating?
Right.
Because there's certain things that's just completely off limits.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you about that.
Well, it's easy for me, for a lot of people, because people don't care about her anyway. They don't even ask about her. They'll call me and ask me how I'm doing, but never ask me.
My mama asks about her almost
I know she
week.
do. I love your mom.
And she be like, I don't know why, but every time I think about her, I think about her in that little stroller, and she all grown
I was walking. Girl, we stayed because that was how I got my peace with her because she loved to sightsee, and I love sightseeing. So, and that was it. What I've realized is that when I'm dealing with people, I have just learned that people are just gonna be people.
Yeah.
But I don't have to accept what you dish out. I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. But what I have learned that when you set boundaries, it's a brain clearer. Because I am an empath, actually. You know that. I love to help people.
We're both like that.
We're both like that. And you get to a point where you go, so if I tell this person no, I should want to know how they respond to the no. Because I've been giving you a yes for years. Yes. So that's what I had to start doing. It's just no.
Sometimes you don't even know how a person feel about you until you give them that no.
Until I give them a no. And so I started giving no's out. Yeah. I don't want to do that. Well, why? I don't want to.
Right.
I'm not going to explain to you. It's just no, right?
Yeah.
And when I started doing that, and then I even started realizing, wow, you always calling people to check on them. And I got to a point, I would say about maybe 8-9 years ago, it's certain people that I have never called again because I realized I was the only one making the phone call. And when I stopped doing it, my life felt better because it was like I don't owe anybody anything. When I see you, it's no beef, it's no nothing, you know. So my boundaries are now that I'm not going to give you what you can't give me. Because I've wasted my time with that. If it's not meant for us to be in the same box with each other, I'm not going to lose any sleep about it because I have a responsibility that is permanent for the rest of my life. So if I allow myself to let you and your feelings dictate me, then it's going to take me off course with her.
Now, speaking of that, like you said, you have responsibilities that's permanent for the rest of your life. And just in even our intimate conversations, one of the main things that I've heard you mention is eventually you'll get old. And of course, your parents is your support system.
Right.
So, of course, we pray that our parents live forever. But there's going to come a time where they won't be able to be in that space. What are some of the things that you fear, or not necessarily fear, but you're preparing to face in that?
It's just more so if people are going to be fair with her, not mean to her or cruel, because I see it all the time. A lot of people have kids. Oh, I had 2 more kids, so they can help me with my child, and come to find out the parents pass away and they put them in a group home or they put them in an institution. So I didn't even have any more kids at all. So I'm really hoping that, of course, family would step up to assist the ones that are around her, the ones that are even not, because you can't say that the ones that are not good people,
Right.
But that's what you hope. But no one's probably going to take care of her like me. That's just what it is,
that's
right?
Just period. It doesn't matter.
But
special
that's
needs
what
or
you
not.
want. Yeah,
it's
that's
nothing
what you
like
want.
that mother's love.
And I will tell you, I love my parents' bond with my daughter. I really believe that keeps them going, because they're like, where is she? I thought she said she was coming over today. Because we got to remember, as our parents get older, their bodies dwindle, but if they have something to do, it gives them hope to want to continue and stay alive. So that's the reason why I love her bond with my parents, and Miss Bobby is also one of her care providers. Her bond with everyone is just like, whoo, amazing, and I don't know if that could be just keeping them going, the energy, because they know she's coming and things like that, so I just hope and pray that the family would not abandon her.
That's my next question. Like, what is your hope in your prayer? Because of course we want to be able to have potentially a home base where we can have a caretaker, but we want to also know that the people that we leave in those positions really are caretakers, because it is, it is a concern. Like, will they take care of them? I've known a few care providers who were in it for the check. And then I knew a few care providers that was really in it to make a difference and be purposeful in it.
Yeah.
So.
And the one thing I have done, I did get her special needs trust. So technically, what a special needs trust is, you have people that will be over her funds, but then they don't know who I have watching them. They don't know that.
Okay.
So I've already expressed it, but no one knows the 8 people that are watching them. So the good thing about that is that you just can't take that money and do what you want to do, because once they report you, it's not going to go away. So that's why I said I've made those arrangements, but the 8 people that I have to watch, the people that say they're going to take care of her, they don't know who they are.
Okay.
And I prefer it that way, but they will have access to see transactions and things that go on. So.
I commend you for making provisions, because tomorrow's not promised to any of us, and these are conversations that nobody really want to have. Like, what would happen if something happened to me, or even something. We don't want to have those conversations, but those are conversations that really need to be had. And then also, I want to ask you, because you are constantly reinventing yourself. Can I say all your names?
I'm sorry, but I know this is gonna sound funny, but you know who did that to me? 7 did that to me. Okay, so I'm on the stage. Okay, I don't know what to call. Okay, so a bliss. I don't know. It was so funny. Every time I think about that, it makes me laugh, because I don't really know what to call. It's a bliss. I think it's a bliss. That's what he said.
Yeah.
A bliss. It came out quick, so it just made me think about that.
So back in the day, it was page 8577.
When I first started, it was actually it was Daisy, Daysy. Because I was a daisy flower. You couldn't tell me that I was not a flower. I used to, wear it in my hair and stuff.
I believe it.
So it was Daisy, and I had made this little thing to sit on my dresser that said Daisy. And then from Daisy, it went to page 8577. And then
it went to a Bliss Gillespie.
Yeah. And I still love that name. I still get called that a lot. Yeah. So that is my favorite name. And then some people know you
as Mel.
Yeah, a lot of people. If you call me Melanie, that means you actually grew up with me, or you have worked with me or done business. The Nicole part, it was kind of like I separated it, because if I heard Nicole, I knew we just met 2 or 3 years ago. Because I literally erased everything from Bliss Gillespie off everything once I realized, okay, I just need to go into just being who I am and just kind of, Bliss was a little wild, you know, I had to kind of calm it down. So I did all of that, and then, so I'll hear people say Melanie, and I'm like, okay, so how they know me? They went to school with me. Did they know me from childhood? But if they say Nicole, that I just met you. So that way I kind of know how to approach it.
It's kind of like me with my name. If you know my government name, you know me for real.
Yes.
Or if you know peanut butter. Yes, my nickname used to be Peanut Butter. Shout out to Ridgemont.
Girl,
and
Ridgemont and BG.
Yeah.
Briargate, those days.
That was my nickname. I was a whole tomboy in these streets. Don't play with
and we couldn't even believe that from looking at you right now that you
Baby,
was a tomboy.
Listen, I can go from Hollywood to hood and point to if you try me.
Yeah, I think I got that reputation too. I try to control it. But
you do good. You do good.
You know, it'll come out when it needs to.
Oh, yeah. You don't mind putting your foot down and letting people know. Now, as far as your self-care regimen, because a lot of people don't know, you juggle a lot of things. You wear a lot of hats. You have a lot of responsibility. Not only that, you're in business for yourself, in service. You know, so not only are you managing your life, you're really kind of managing the lives of other people that may have speech, you know, issues where you have to translate for them and you're going from one business to another. So how do you take care of you?
I just do. It's so funny because I actually buy, and I learned this from Keita, you know, Keita from Sarad. So we used to live together. And I learned it then. I didn't have this before her because growing up, my mom, I never followed the makeup thing. I wasn't into all of that stuff. You know, I used to hang with everybody from school, you know, break dancing and things like that. I was really into that. So living with her was so beautiful because every Saturday, probably every other Saturday, she would get up and she would do her hair, you know, she'd wash her hair. And I'd just be in the room like, oh my gosh, she's really like doing this self-care thing, right? And there's no babies yet, right? We don't have any babies yet. So she's doing her hair, then she'll put the dryer out and, you know, she does all her stuff and she gets under the dryer. She gets her beauty magazines out and she's looking at everything and she's circling the next product that she's gonna get, and then she'll put it down and then she'll get up and she'll start painting her nails and then she'll start painting her toes. It was just, I've never seen it. Then we was getting ready and then she'd go in the bathroom and it was like, oh my gosh, she has a whole makeup collection. I didn't even know that people had those.
Yeah.
So I remembered all of that. She would come in my room and have on a mask. It'd be a different color probably every couple of days or something. I'm like, man, like she got like a whole feminine collection in here, right? All I have is pads and tampons. I don't have anything else, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, there's more to this than just pads and tampons. Like, okay, great. So as time goes on, I'm like, wow, you know, I'm looking in my bathroom like, so there's a lipstick.
It's looking like meager combination.
Yeah, it was like a lip gloss. Oh, there's an eyeliner pencil from like 3 years ago. And remember, I model. You know, I did fashion shows. My first runway show was at the Astrodome. Yeah. So you would think I would have all this stuff, right? Don't have none of it. And so when I started realizing, man, I got to start doing things for me, I would go to the store. And I didn't even do that until I had the child. I started thinking, what would Keita do? What would Keita buy?
Shout out to Keita.
Shout out to Keita. So what would Keita buy? Oh, there's that mask right there. Let me get that mask right there. I was like, oh, it's $15. Okay, let me see how much money I have because, you know, Zanaya requires things. Okay, I got $17. I think I'll be able to get it, right? So I started with that. Then I started saying, well, maybe we should do some little face wash instead of me using some black soap and Dove, right? Like, let me go into some regimens. So from that, I am so totally obsessed with skincare now, like obsessed. Like I'm literally in my mirror like, okay, oh my God, look at that right there. It's a bump. It's a bump right there. Oh my God, I have to get rid of the bump. I can't go out like this, right? Before it was like, it'd be connected dots, I wouldn't care, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I do now. Like I literally, if you come over now, it's like makeup. It's like my own nails, do my own nails. So I do that for myself. Yeah. And then like, I have a back issue because I had a car accident. So now I have to go to the chiropractor and I have to get my massages, but I'd be looking forward to it. I'd be like, so can you fit me in at this time?
Listen, because let me tell you something. I book, shout out to my massage therapist. You can find her at Lady Aika on social media. I'll make sure to post her in the comment section of this video. But she only works on referral basis only.
Mm-hmm.
And she's worth every penny. She comes to you, she's set up, and she does this awesome deep tissue massage. So the deep tissue massage, the spa, get
All
my
of that.
feet, my nails done.
She does pedicures too?
No, these are
you
things
go.
that I do.
Yeah, I just got my toes
to
done.
go
The
and,
camera can't see. I got my toes done.
and it's not about looking good for everybody else.
It's
just
for me.
It's for me.
I am so sick. Let me tell you what else I do. I take myself out to eat.
Girl,
at least
that.
a couple of times a
Girl, I will
week.
eat by myself.
Girl, and let me tell you what happened.
Does that make me weird?
It
That I
does
can date
not.
myself?
Girl, let me tell you. See, this when I realized I was doing everything right. Because when I was walking today, and that man said, "Ciao, Bella," I was like, "Ciao, Bella? Ciao, Bella? Me? Ciao, Bella? Ciao, Bella? Okay, ciao, Bella back." Like, okay, but that's when I said, "Oh, follow me." I said, "Oh, ciao, Bella." I was like, I don't know. Then he did this thing like this. Whatever, I was like, oh, I need to do this more often.
Yeah, we showing out in these 40s.
We is showing out. I didn't even know if I should
40s,
twist more.
honey,
I didn't know if I should.
honey.
Yeah, because I had to think, okay, I'm walking right now. Should I twist a little more?
bit.
Maybe I should.
Ciao,
you know
Bella.
what I'm saying? That's what he did. He said, "Ciao, Bella." I went, oh, okay then. So, and I had my tight pants on, the ones, because I got a little stomach now. So this one I had to take a loose when I'm sitting down, but I was standing up so he wouldn't know. So I was getting my walk on, and I was like, oh, he has no idea what's going on with the struggle with this belly right now. But I'm glad you ciao Bella me, honey. Thank you.
Because I'm struggling with this wide back, but that's okay.
But yes, but self-care, I do a lot of self-care. A lot. And self-care for me is just massages, get my feet done, and again, it may not be all the time, it depends on the budget, but at the end of the day, I do. Like, I literally live in magazines and looking up stuff.
It's a couple other questions I want to ask you.
I'm scared. Go ahead.
Girl, don't be.
Okay.
So, one of the things I wanted to ask you was a moment in history. Let's just have a moment of nostalgia. If there's something that you could have told yourself before becoming a mom, what would that be?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a good question. Before becoming a mom, I would probably say if things that you have wanted to do in life, do them. It's not about the child holding you back, but some people get married and have kids and they be like, man, I didn't get to do this, I didn't get to do that. So I do feel that in your 20s, you should really utilize understanding you. And that doesn't always mean that you're supposed to be married by 21, picket fence and baby by 28, 29, all that kind of stuff. I really feel that if you really understand you better, I really believe that you can do more things in life even if you have a kid, because you can say to yourself, I did it. Versus when you have the kid, for some people, it's just, that's it. Because you may have triplets, you may have twins, and then you be like, wow. Right. And I even think about people that I know who are going through divorces that got married at 19 and 18,
Listen, it happened to me. I had my first son at 16. I was married by 18, and divorced, and got remarried again, and divorced. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know myself. I didn't know my boundaries. I felt the need to be needed, and that was something that I had to change about myself. You know what I'm saying? I want my partner to already feel complete without needing me to fill that void. And vice versa, because when you have your own autonomous being, then you don't lose yourself into other people. You can love them and forge bonds, whether it's friends or relationship, because that's another thing, having good girlfriends in your mind that you really are attached to, that you love, and they do some salty shit. You got to break up with them just like you would a dude that was crossing the boundary, and that hurts just as much. But it changed the dynamic when you've been open enough to allow them to come into your world and forge bonds with your children, and now they're asking, "Where's Auntie so-so?" And you're like,
But even male relationships, what I have noticed too, and I think it's a beautiful thing. My partner in crime, Jonathan, aka Dark City, that produced Autism Moms Rock. Having male friends also, to me, real male friends, not just some boo-boo foo-foo. Real male friends, to me, has really helped me to realize that even people that I have dated, I was really right in leaving and walking away. And both of these people are married. Jonathan's married. Love his wife. Me and Jack will be cracking up on the phone and stuff. But it's a beautiful feeling when you don't question yourself because you have the right support system around you. We can talk about Kamante, Dr. Gay,
Shout out to Kamante.
For total chiropractic. He is that loving individual. You know what I mean? He's that. So when you have
I do
those,
appreciate my male support system.
yes, you have to, because it helps you. And so, I have my friends from high school that I'm still close with: Doug Rohilia, Eric Porter, Victor, all of these guys, Nahuma, Ned,
All of them.
everybody, Andre. We all still have this bond, that we may not see each other all the time, but it's a love that will
That's
never
how it
go
is
away.
with my real solid guy friends, the
Yeah.
Sevens, the Trey Deuces.
Yes.
The Cedrics, I might not
that.
see them often, but if I
Right.
call them, they be like, "Nay, drop your location."
Right.
No questions asked.
Exactly.
And sometimes you just need those good
Yes.
platonic, organic relationships, even if it's just to bounce ideas off.
Yes.
To make sure that you ain't crazy, because sometimes I ain't gonna lie. My boy Seven to get on my ass. He don't have no problem. He ain't biased.
Oh, and then he be getting on me. Tell him he better stop getting on me on social media when I post something. He love coming back at me. I'm gonna have to take him to the side. So we need to go get us a drink.
Okay.
You ain't gotta be
Shout
coming at
out
me
to
like
Seven
that.
the Poet, y'all.
Yes.
Like, we all got like over 20 years in the game.
Yes.
So he is definitely
yes.
family.
But he's always been 7.
He's always been
That's
seven.
just
That's
it.
who he is.
He's always been 7.
Now
so.
we've spoken about you being a mom, an autism mom, and all the different businesses that you have. One thing that I think that a lot of women don't speak on, and I'm just gonna ask you straight up. After your daughter was diagnosed with autism, did that invoke any fear in continuing to have children?
No, I think it's just I didn't find the right person to have more children with.
With.
That was really it. But it was more so that, because I said if I was to have more children, I really wanted to really get to know the person and bond with the person, but I never was able to do that. So that was pretty much why I just never revisited it.
Yeah.
Like now, please don't come to me
Yeah,
with that.
because I'm like,
at
girl, now
46.
it's too. Listen, now we in these
I
40s,
mean-
we
I
traveling
mean,
and getting
'Cause
passport
these
stamps.
little ovaries don't need nothing else connected. I don't need no sperm swimming.
Yeah.
I don't need none of that. I'm good. Don't.
Yeah.
If you feel that you need that, I will find somebody for you. It won't be me.
Yeah.
So it's plenty of young girls out here that you can go ahead and do that.
That's like a
Leave me
prerequisite
alone.
for me now.
Yeah. Don't
you
please
know?
leave me alone.
Like
you know?
I want you to at least have one child of your own.
Yeah,
Because I'm not
yeah.
giving you none.
Right.
My kids are 28,
Yeah.
25, and 20. My
Yeah.
grandson is 8,
Yes.
and Gigi ain't having no babies.
I'm
Gigi
not
somewhere
doing it,
in Turks and Caicos,
Yeah.
in Belize, Dubai.
On somebody's island.
Somebody,
Somebody's
somewhere. So
With that
that's-
big head.
That's
Can't
what I'm
nobody see your
doing,
face,
and that goes back to when I asked you, what could you tell your younger self, and it's like to enjoy your youth.
Yeah.
And sometimes people ask me that, like, do you regret having your kids so young? I'm not gonna say I regret it. I wish I had more knowledge. I think that where I am now with the knowledge I have, I could have definitely been a better parent. Not saying that I was a bad parent,
Right.
but I could have been a better parent had I been equipped, because nobody writes you a book, and there's no book on how to be a parent. Every child is different,
Right.
and so it's kind of like a learn as you go
Right, of
process.
course. Right.
And then when you add dating into the mix, and then children, do you want to introduce them to the new person? Do you want to see if the mask gonna slip?
Right.
Are they gonna be compatible?
Yeah.
And those things are all like things that come up when you're
But
dating.
at this age, I had to have a conversation with one of the moms. I said, at this age, you should be able to know if someone's playing with you by now. If you don't know, you don't want to know. I can know about the third conversation if you are a joke. And if you are a joke with me, I'm not calling you back.
Tell me one of them tips, girl.
Okay, I'll give you an example. So I had a conversation with a guy, and he nothing against him. Now that's what I'm finna make sure we point out. He said this, and he didn't know. He says, "Oh, I don't like girls that have little afros." He doesn't know that I have an afro underneath my wig, right?
Okay.
So again, I could have said to him, no. Instead of me saying that, I said, well, I have a little afro. But that at that moment told me that he was not the one for me because he already showed me he doesn't like that. And I'm not going to change it for you. I can't change it. I was born that way. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that where I say that we sometimes want something, we want a relationship, we want things to connect. But sometimes we have all of these things to say. It's nothing bad on that person. This is more so saying, oh,
and that goes back
okay,
to understanding who you are.
That's it, right.
Because then you can understand what's compatible for you.
Yeah.
Because when you start to bend who you are to acquiesce to who someone else is, eventually you're going to be miserable because you're not going to be walking in your truth.
Yes.
You're going to eventually have to dim your light
Yes.
to acquiesce to something that.
And I always
box
say
that
it
they
has
put-
nothing to do with that person being bad. Like
Right.
if it was another guy, he called, he said, hey, and then he'll talk to me for like 2 minutes and then he'll say, let me call you back, Nicole, and just abruptly hang up, right? Okay, whatever. We're not going to trip, right? But when he did it a second time, and then it was like days went by, okay, so there's nothing for us to talk about anymore. He still calls and checks on me. I'm not responding to you because you already showed me who you are. And that's fine. I'm not upset with you about it, but it's like that's who you are.
Well, we hard on these dudes.
But I can't, I don't know how to deal with you that way. I don't know how to deal with a person that just hangs up on you and say, let me call you back, Nicole. Like, who does that,
Did your old lady just walk in?
Right,
or what?
right. Did your bitch just walk in? I don't know, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, you called and then it's, let me call you back, Nicole. Okay, wait a minute, fool. Okay, well, this is about twice you did this in about 4 or 5 days. So to me, that means I will be adapting to him when I don't even know what the issue is. So I don't feel like addressing that. I don't feel like going through all of that. You know what I mean? Again, it's no offense to him. I would never rat his name out. If I saw him out and a girl was with him and I knew her, it would be nothing for me to say to her because he may not have done her like that. So it's no point to throw salt on someone else's game.
Correct.
But for me, it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. And that he constantly kept checking in. And I'm not responding.
Well, you know,
so.
girl, my block party list is long.
Yeah, I think my phone has like 80 block numbers on it.
Yeah, girl.
I think
Sometimes
about 80.
you just gotta.
Well, bill collectors, of course. I mean, that's about 25.
Not the bill.
About the bill collector, then somebody who knows somebody who think they know you, and they remembered you for 2 years. Okay, they blocked, So I mean, it's just
I get
and then
that
you
all
got
the time,
those
the
1-800 numbers that call all the time. You got to block them too.
Yeah. Now, if there was something that you could tell to an autism mom or a mom with special needs, what would it be?
Love on yourself so you can be what you need to be for your child. That's it. Just love on yourself. That's something that you have to do internally. No one can do that for you. You have to wake up and decide.
Because a lot of people don't even realize that the divorce rate in families with special needs children, some people may say it brings them closer, but then it also tears some relationships apart because sometimes one of the other parents are not as empathetic to the needs of both the mother and the child.
Well, what it is no one prepared themselves for that. And that's where I guess you can say when you're dating, how do you know to prepare yourself to say, is this a person a good companion or not? You don't know to do that because no one says, hey, let's put an autistic kid in our REM for a week. No one does that, right?
Right.
So when you with someone, you're with them and you're both having the same dream. Fathers to me are different from mothers on a whole lot of levels. They see things differently. They handle things differently. We're more the soft, nurturing, and the father's like, wait, we're not doing all that, So if you butt heads on things, it can cause that. But the good thing is there are couples that I know right now that are still together that work with people, couples. And I think it's beautiful because I feel like if they can see it, they can know that it is possible. Just because yours didn't work out, it doesn't mean that it won't work out if that's what you want. You see what I'm saying? Me having a girl, bringing a man in, I was very uncomfortable with that because I know me, and if I even think you're doing something you have no business doing, my skill games of Mike Tyson would be on strong. I don't know if it should be Mike Tyson or, Mayweather. I don't know who I should compare myself to.
Bobby.
I mean, yeah. So for me, it's gonna be like a woo. So I don't want to. So to keep my nerves down, I do. And for me, like you asked me earlier, my me time is I buy records, and you're going to find things like Nirvana and on there. Bob Marley. I'm gonna go from that to Green Day. You may see that. You may go see Alanis Morissette. you know, and then some songs I don't even know who sing it. I just go and say, who sings Black Hole Sun? Can you give me that? Soundgarden. So I had to go in there and say, oh, let me get the Soundgarden album. You know, that's what I do. And people are like, I'm not listening to that. I didn't buy it for you to listen to. Matter of fact, if it's going to help you leave, let me turn it on. And turn it up loud. And so I turned that Black Hole Sun up real loud. The girl was like, I don't want to listen to that. Girl, I know, but I do. Who? And then she was out of there. But see, it's things like that I can get you out real quick.
It's almost like how when I sage my house.
I mean, I'm trying to tell you, you know, because what I have learned is that you're not going to tell me what to play at my house that gives me peace and makes me smile. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to do that.
Well, you know, my thing is I try to live a peaceful life. Mm-hmm. And I will share my peace with you, but I will not let you disturb it.
You can't disturb my peace.
That is my cue. Mm-hmm. So before I end the show, I do want to remind our guests that we are on multiple platforms. So you can find a platform that works for you. We are everywhere. We also have a YouTube page, and I would love, love, love for you to come on over to Outside the Box with Onney. Click that subscribe button. Also hit that bell notification so you can be notified when a new episode is dropped. And if you like what you see and you want to come and share your business with me, we are also casting. We have different series coming out. We also have Conversations with a King that we'll be casting for, as well as still casting for our artists and entrepreneurs. So if you want to be on the show, make sure you go to OutsideTheBoxWithOnney.com, check out the show, submit your EPK to otb.liveshow@gmail.com, and one of our members of casting will get back to you as well. And if you like what you see and the content is professional enough for you, you guys go on and go to the website www.onneystudios.com, and you yourself can become a podcast content creator today. We have different sets for you to choose from. We have a whole team. So all you have to do is come, bring your dream, and let's manifest it together. And I want to thank you, Nicole. I almost called Jamel.
It's okay.
I want to thank you for just letting me just come and just have an organic, authentic conversation with you. You know, I'm sure I asked some questions that other people want to ask, but they're afraid to.
Because they know I ain't going to answer.
Right, they ain't going to get no answer. But, you know, it's other moms out there that needs to be able to see women like yourself who are living outside the box, who are still accomplishing dreams. And every time I look up, you reinvent yourself. And that's something I think we both have in common.
Right.
You know, from writing books to writing plays to writing music to doing poetry to having a magazine to having nonprofit organizations to putting on shows for the community, for holding symposiums and panels that help other people navigate through some of the challenges that come with, you know, having children with autism. So I just want to thank you for being a bright light in a dark room, for being the queen that you are, for helping me adjust my crown at times where my crown may have been slipping. So just thank you for being an accountability partner. I don't want to get emotional, but thank you for being an accountability partner and a real true friend, because, you know, we are outside the box. So we are bigger than just this show or bigger than just doing poetry together. We are really good friends, and I just thank you for being who you are, not just to me, but to the many people of the lives that you've touched on your journey.
Thank you, Mom. I love you.
I love you too, girl. I'm gonna give you a big hug after we done.
Strong.
But I'm gonna stop talking because I don't want my legs to come off now.
I don't want those to come off. I don't need it to be doing this.
We
don't need that. No.
So before we go, is there anything you want to say to the people that are tuning in and watching?
Just continue to love on yourself. You're going to be judged. You're going to be told this and that. People are not going to like you. Just let it go in one ear and out the other. Just do you and be happy. Because I have a lot of people that don't like me, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't stop my progress. It doesn't stop me from doing me. But if you have talents and gifts and skills, just do it. I don't care if 5 people show up. Who cares? You just do what you love to do and do it for you and love on yourself.
I love that. Well, you guys remember to love yourselves, and you remember that I love you. I'm telling you in front of the whole world, because ain't no shame in my game, friend. I love you, and I thank God for you being you, and I thank you guys for being exactly who you are, for following in this journey, for joining the conversation, and just for being a part. So make sure you leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of the show. Make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button on YouTube. And I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. I'm your host, Onney the CEO, and you are Outside the Box.